Psychobabble, oh, psychobabble. United to see, now it's faded to black. I threw it away, 'cause I don't want it back. I don't care when it's all psychobabble
All right, look, class is in sessionism, okay? Just shut up, sit down, and before your purple hair tackle box ass says something stupid. All right, so look, here's the deal. About 2 years ago, I started finding this group of YouTubers that was talking very oddly.
So, how is everybody doing? Big shout out to Progressive Patriot there. Looks like he had a visitor. You guys haven't checked out the last couple of his videos. They're pretty good. You might want to go over there and check it out. So it's been an interesting week, especially around here. We've had, well, we made national news here in our little town due to flooding. And this happened once again, like, I want to say 20 years ago. There's a little creek that runs through the middle of town, and it came out of the banks. And there's a bunch of Section 8 apartments, or, you know, whatever you want to call them, reduced rent, government assistant, way out on the outskirts of this little town. And it displaced everybody there 20 years ago. And supposedly it was the flooding issue was taken care of. And I've always said it's because, they built all these apartments down there that have storm drains that are adding all that extra water to the creek and making it come out of the banks when it rains real hard. And it hasn't flooded again, granted. I'll hand it to them, but it just did it again the other day and messed a lot of stuff up, displaced 11 families. And it hasn't quit raining since. It's still raining. Just been nothing. We might get a little bit of, small break from the rain, a couple hours, and then it's right back. And so it's been a trip. I want to touch base a little bit about, this madness we're seeing from Ghost Ranch as of late. And so let's listen to a little bit of this video and talk about it.
All right, look, class is in sessionism, okay? Just shut up, sit down, and before your purple hair tackle box ass says something stupid. All right, so look, here's the deal. About 2 years ago, I started finding this group of YouTubers that was talking very oddly, right? And I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, it doesn't even make sense what they're saying. So I started watching them. Soon to find out, these people don't like people like myself watching them going, hey, what do you mean by, take the aliens to Alaska? What does that mean?
I can recall a couple of YouTubers, Zanime X and Ickadmel, who weren't as fortunate as these folks because he did the same thing to them, only he mentioned them by name and like real name with address. At least he doesn't dox these people yet, but everything he said about them was in his imagination. And here we are again. More imagination.
Then a few purple hair people were like, wah! And I was like, what the fuck are you? So after I typed in the comments 30 times, hey, what does that mean? You're not telling me, what does that mean? Like, why are y'all saying that? take the aliens to Alaska. What does that mean? Well, after they ignored me for a long time, I was like, well, fuck you. I'm going to just keep fucking watching. See.
I got 10 grand that says nobody ever said they were taking aliens to Alaska. First, you'd have to have the aliens. You'd have to have them, right? And then you'd have to want to take them to Alaska for some reason. There has been a lot of talk in the UFO community about sightings in Alaska and supposed, underground, whatever. And, could be true, might not be true. But right now, and I would say for the last 2 years, it would not be unusual at all, not even in the slightest bit, to see somebody talking about Alaska and aliens and ancient, civilizations and all this crap. And especially with some of the new stuff they found with LiDAR. But let's see where his imagination goes here.
What else you say that's weird? So I'd go back to this group's comment section the next day and be like, hey, guess what else I figured out, guys? Ain't it weird that everything involving UFOs and everything involving sex trafficking, the terminology is like, exactly the fucking same. Well, then...
If he wasn't dead serious, what is it? What is it with this group? And they always have this on the mind. What, of all the things you could equate people talking about aliens, it would be that. It's aliens is code word for trafficking.
More purple hair people show up. And I'm like, oh, well, more of you, I don't fucking know. So I continue to comment. I'm like, yeah, words like abduction, alien abduction, child abduction, undocumented child would technically, by definition, be an alien. The purple hair perpetrators start just like flooding in.
See, the wild thing about having an imagination like this is you have to, first you have to abandon all common sense, right? One could argue there would be absolutely no benefit at all whatsoever of any kind for an actual criminal trafficker to discuss what they do in YouTube videos or live streams. There would be no reason for them to do that. In fact, human nature and behavior would dictate they would want as least amount of eyes and ears on what they're doing as possible, then more. And in today's world, there are so many encrypted video and chat sharing apps out there that there's no argument to be made that it would be necessary for them to communicate what they're doing in code word on YouTube. That in and of itself is absurd to the nth degree.
Doing anything they can do to try to discredit the person giving away their fucking language to everybody. Why? Why? Because, well, they haven't created another one yet in case somebody or multiple people get on here and is like, hey guys, look.
No, Ryan, actually what they would do is they would just use Telegram, or they would start their own, Discord, or their own private X group, or their own private Facebook group, or their own private chat of any kind, or encrypted email, or just a gazillion different things they could do besides recording themselves, then uploading it to YouTube. You know what I mean?
Here's their fucking language. This is what this word means, and this is what the fuck they're talking about. And the thing is, it isn't new news. This is old news. I mean, what do you think? Alex Jones talking about Pizzagate and people ordering like certain kind of foods and shit.
And that all ended up to be absolute utter nonsense. It was invented on 4chan as a joke. You see, 4chan does this. And what a lot of people don't realize is 4chan, it isn't what it used to be. But back in the day, 4chan was tweeners and early teens that were just heavily into, the adolescent pranks, like hang up, call and hang up, like one of, Upchurch's, cult followers calls my phone, leaves, derogatory messages, or anytime I'm going to go live thinking he's going to hear the phone ring on the live stream, and feel like he had some life accomplishment. And we found out who it was about 7 or 8 months ago. And the guy has absolutely nothing and no life. And that's probably why he does it, because he just doesn't have anything at all to lose. So there's just no point in even bothering with it legally. There's nothing to gain, other than, him finding something better to do. Doesn't bother me to turn my ringer off while I'm doing a live stream. It takes about 10 seconds. So anyway, where was I? It's just this nonsense that people would go to all this trouble to speak in code word in YouTube videos when they could just talk normal in a private encrypted chat app, for Christ's sake.
Whatever, and it really meant something else, and everybody's like, he's crazy. No, motherfucker, he was one teacher trying to teach a fucking humongous classroom so big he couldn't even see or ever know all the students. What else?
The Pizzagate was that's where I was at. I lost my train of thought there. Pizzagate, honest to God, was a joke that this 4chan group, and they were known to do this, and they were very good at it and very successful at it. They would start hoaxes and see how far they could go. They've made national news with their hoaxes, like actual national news, such as Pizzagate. Now, the downside is there was some crazies out there, sort of like creeksquad, right? That's why what Ryan does is so irresponsible, because there's nut jobs out there that believe this stuff. When you say this, they believe it. There are people out there that no matter what Ryan says, they will believe it by default, even if it's so absurd. And look how wrong he's been wrong every time. He's never yet been right. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit with who's the real rat at Ghost Ranch, because it was never his mother. I can guarantee you that.
Jones did was create a shit ton of other teachers to tell smaller groups of students. So the point gets across. And nobody is finna fucking sit here and act like that is far-fetched at all, because it is not. I mean, fuck, rappers call drugs birds and chicken.
Oh my. I'm going to say that it's extraordinarily far-fetched. And you would have to have just some predefined imagination to even make that connection. It is all in your mind. You can't subscribe something to someone else just because you think they're using one word to mean something else. It, in and of itself, is just absurd and far-fetched. Again, there's no reason for it at all. They could be sitting in a private Telegram group just saying, hey, let's go, do some kidnapping today. They wouldn't have to use any code word at all. Why would they have to communicate across YouTube videos? It's just stupid. Absolutely stupid. And that's what happens, Ryan, when you do drugs and don't sleep and stare at the computer all day. That's what happens. Your imagination runs wild. That's the reason you're being sued right now for the same thing. It looks like you haven't learned anything.
I'm selling 30 birds. I think it's like cocaine or something, but they call it a bird and a chicken. It's the same fucking thing as somebody in the South saying, hey, give me some sugar. And really they mean, give me a kiss. They don't mean give me some actual fucking like sugar cane. So before we get off topic, essentially what this group of people was starting to get mad at was I was helping uncover this language that is masked over English, but it's deeper than everyone fucking thinks. So deep, they are giving you examples in small doses in the Library of Congress, in congressional meetings, through governors of certain states, and it's visible now. So now you can't do, oh, he's crazy. No, you can't do that anymore. And here's a perfect.
Oh, yeah, we can. That's crazy, dude. Crazy talk. It's nutbird nonsense. Absolute nutbird nonsense. Any of you people that listen to Upchurch, this is not real. This did not happen. It's not ever gonna happen. There's nobody using alien for code word for trafficking, but no one on earth ever. And there will never be a day when a criminal speaks in code in YouTube videos because it's unnecessary. There would be no point to do that other than maybe try to get caught. Yeah, if you want to get caught, you want to have a bunch of people watching you. Yeah, I guess so. But I would say human nature would dictate you would want the least amount of people knowing what you're doing. So you would be in a private group. You wouldn't be uploading monetized YouTube videos.
Example that Ted Cruz is giving you right here. Watch this.
You ever flown a plane?
No, I have never flown a plane.
So you weren't a military pilot or a commercial airline pilot?
No, Senator.
Have you ever worked for an airline?
No, Senator.
Have you ever worked as an air traffic controller?
No, Senator.
Have you ever worked for a company that manufactures airplanes?
No, Senator.
Have you ever worked for a company that fixes airplanes?
No, Senator.
With all respect, Mr. Washington, it gives no comfort to the flying public that their pilot might be a transgendered witch, but doesn't actually know how to prevent the plane from crashing into the ground and killing them.
So it makes no fucking sense, right? How the hell can this guy be the head spot of aviation and safety and not have any fucking experience at all whatsoever? Pause.
Well, I can tell you why. Democrat, politics, and DEI. That's how. That's why. Happens all the time. Democrats tried to elect a Kamala Harris as a president. They actually were going to try to elect a senile man suffering from dementia. They were actually going to try to elect someone they knew was suffering from dementia. And Washington is full of people appointed to oversee government organizations in which they have no experience with at all.
Isn't it funny that Grady Judd said 6 months ago, he's like, it's funny, I keep arresting Air Force people that have no Air Force background, no military background. It's because it's not.
That ain't what he said. He didn't say he was arresting. What? Grady Judd would not have the authority to arrest a military person in the military. If you're enlisted, the MPs come and get you. The police can't arrest you. The MPs arrest you. You're property of the United States government. you're out of Grady Judge jurisdiction. You're enlisted.
They're not in the Air Force. They are the Air Force. But Air Force doesn't mean like planes and flying and war in America. No, it means disrupting like 911 calls, being the force in the airwaves that fucks everything up and entangles everything and is a breach of fucking safety. I mean, I shouldn't have to give an example because shit like this has been going on for a minute, but let's just say there's like a music festival or something, right? Okay. And there's like 3 active shooters all spread out throughout the crowd or whatever, right? Well, if this Air Force could shut off communications to cops, to 911 people, and then these people just start shooting motherfuckers and nobody's phone works or nothing like that, that is chaos, and that's going to be like mass casualty because there's no communication. Who on here remembers when Trump said we're fighting a force we can't even see?
He didn't mean invisible people. He was talking about China and the Chicon bots. Okay, this has been a problem. As I've talked about before, I ran LAMP servers for years. I used to host websites. I still have about a half a dozen hosted, but I used to do it like on a bigger scale and charge money for it. You know, when we transitioned from being an ISP into, you know, high-speed internet here, dial-up ISP was worthless now. We transitioned into being host and putting up websites for people and fixing computers around town and stuff. And yeah. It blows my mind that you think what he's talking about is the Chicon bots, or he's talking about something else. No, he's talking about cyber attacks. We have a real problem with these. China writes these sophisticated bots that knock on server doors all the time. They used to just set and mill through passwords and usernames and like it would generate, you know, and eventually they could crack into places. Well, there's been programs written that will ward off, you know, IPs that are trying to do that. And then we even have region-based IP blockers. Well, now they use either the Tor system or they use, VPNs and, just all kind of different ways to get around the region you're coming from because, IPs are given out based on region. That's what he was talking about. Cyber, not invisible people.
What do you think that means? It's hidden within the words. You can't see it. Even if you fucking read it and are looking at the words, you cannot see it. There's plenty other examples.
So what he's telling you there is he reads stuff between the lines that isn't there, which is exactly what he did during the Kylie Rodney case. That's exactly what got him wound up in court, was reading stuff between lines that wasn't there. All 3 of them did it. All 3 of them did it. They literally found a random photo of 3 girls sitting in the back of the car, one of them acting like she was passed out. The picture was actually approaching 2 full years old. And the girl was from a completely different region of California. In case some of you don't know, California's a big state. There's a lot of miles between Northern California and Southern California. And that girl was from way farther south than Truckee. And picture had been up for over 2 years. And she simply just had blonde hair. That was the only thing similar with her and Kylie Rodney, was just they had the same color hair. That's it. They didn't look nothing alike. They weren't nowhere near the same height. They weren't nowhere near anything similar at all, other than they both had the same color hair. And he tried to claim it was the same person and then was reading stuff between the lines on their social media and connecting it to a missing girl case 2 years later. And next thing you know, he's doxing innocent people to his fan base.
Plenty other people high up and on YouTube that are trying to be like, hey guys, look, I mean, look at this. For example, the UFO UAP congressional hearing. Another example, Tim Burchett, Tennessee State Representative. You want to see why Tennesseans talk like this? Go watch him.
Do you trust Trump's national security team to keep our war plans top secret?
Do you trust your mother every night to fix your hot pockets and make sure your Game Boy is turned on?
I would have said the same thing to that dummy, asking something so stupid. That was the dumbest question to ask a senator, and that was the perfect response. Do you trust your mother to heat your hot pockets and shut your Game Boy off at night? That was the perfect answer.
Fucking love that guy. Now, one last thing, going back to Ted Cruz earlier. So the comment section was trying to like discredit him and write him off as crazy when he said this.
And it gives no comfort to the flying public that their pilot might be a transgendered witch.
Although it sounds funny, what he's saying holds a fuck ton of weight because it's a CIA document called Black Magic. And this CIA document...
Here we go. Reading stuff between the lines that ain't there. You understand that Cruz was just being facetious, talking about these stupid trannies that dress like freaks and act like just absolute lunatics and witches. And it was a facetious one-liner that had no meaning beyond the laughter it would get in that moment. But now he's trying to insinuate that Ted Cruz was actually talking about witches, real witches, like, in some storybook somewhere, or
called Black Magic.
Harry Potter.
Black magic, like witchcraft. Well, some of the terms they use in this document, Black Magic, are aerial space, aerial aviation, and space technology. Yes. Spacecraft,
Not
like
space
crafting
technology.
space.
Not space. No.
In an area that no one knows about. Oh, that's weird.
Really? You mean to tell me there's places in space that people don't know about?
Weird. That's what sex traffickers do.
Oh, how in the hell do you make? Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, look, they wrote it out. Aviation and space travel in the same paragraph.
Either you're the kind of person that wants to learn or the kind of person that don't.
Don't they? You die hard, Upchurch, insufferable fools. Don't believe a word of this madness. The only place that this is true is in a Adderall-induced psychosis. That is the only place where this is even possible.
But don't be mad at everybody else who wants to fucking learn just because you don't want to. All right? All right. Goodbye.
Oh my God. What do you guys think of that shit? I don't know. That shit's got to somewhere. There has to be an end. I mean, that is embarrassing. It's hard to watch because he's not kidding. If he was kidding, it'd be funny. You could laugh at it and it'd be, it'd be entertainment, but it's more unraveling. It's just more of it. And, I've seen some people make the comment that, well, he's just trying to, act crazy so he can use the insanity defense against the Rodney suit. No, if that was the case, then he wouldn't even be getting sued. You guys seem to forget it was this exact behavior that led to the suit. So it's not an act. It's just more of the same. And I can tell you, man, it's at peak volume right now. It's crazy talk, absolute crazy talk. To even try to make the connection that if someone's makes a joke about a transgender witch, that they actually mean witch, and then to make the connection that people talk about aliens because they're trafficking people because illegal aliens are called aliens too. And if there was no other way for them to communicate, let's pretend this psychosis, this wild imaginated psychosis is factual. If there was no other means of communication, then there'd be, maybe there would be some far fetched way of making sense of what he's saying, right? But there's a million other ways to communicate. There would be no need to put it in a YouTube video. There's just absolutely no point. And we go clear back to the absurdity that Zanime had done something to Kylie Rodney, right? What would be the reason why, if you were going to go move the body, let's say we're going to scuba dive down, because that's what was implied, and do something to the body of this person you deleted that the whole world's looking for and that everybody's talking about, right? You're going to put it in a YouTube video and upload it to YouTube? It's just ridiculous, man. Just the premise. The premise is absolutely ridiculous. And then right after this video, he uploads another video that really tells a really big story. Tells a really big story about what's really going on. Hey, what's happening, man? Glad to see you finally did pull this up here. Glad to see you finally did make a live there. Artifacts. Cool. Anyway, where was I? It's ridiculous that a criminal would make a YouTube video out of their crime. It's just absurd, right? So he uploads this other video, and now we get the rest of the story about what's been going on for the last 4 years, right? And what's been going on is Upchurch 100% checked out. His woman 100% checked out. His so-called manager 100% checked out. Nobody paying any attention. And he he wants to blame that on his crew, Deerdorf and cousin Billy. That's the implication, right? And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, my 6 decades of, the school of life teaches you a lot about human behavior, and especially being a supervisor, and, being in charge and making sure. There were times I was responsible for the income for, 15 families that, 15 other managers under me that their families have to be fed too. And then at times managing a shop, you have 6 or 7 guys that total income relies on you doing your job. And you learn a lot about human behavior. And I can tell you how it probably went for them. I'll bet you there was a whole big long time where Deerdorf showed up every day with whistles and bells on, ready to tear in to something, and Ryan was checked out. Hey, Ryan, man, you want to fix that truck today? Oh, man, let's do it later, dude. Hey, Ryan, man, you want me to go down and get some drywall, finish up that? Nah, don't do it right now, dude. I'm getting ready to take a shower. Hey, Ryan, man, you want me to finish up doing that drywall on that bed? Well, no, man, I got some people living down there right now. You just have to wait, man. And I'll bet you that's what it's been for both of them. Or, hey, Ryan, let's go get the material we need to finish this set. And he's checked out. They can't get him to cooperate. Or, hey, what's your idea on this? What do you want to do? I haven't thought about it yet. I don't have time. Don't bother me. And that's the way it's been. It's. Oh, really? Wait. I gotta see this. What's it say? It says, Dagburn just whooped Triple T and Mr. Reactions. Ah, cool. Okay. Anyway, he was probably checked out and they couldn't get no cooperation out of it. But let's watch a little bit of this video so we can talk about it too.
I want to give a huge shout out to my neighbors because we was all here hanging out and chilling last night. And I just came down here to clean up the mess.
And yeah, I was lazy. I grabbed this from the other pirate that downloads Ryan's content from Instagram and makes no change to it, no commentary, no reaction, no nothing. Just puts their name on it and uploads it on their channel for views and clicks like some disrespectful POS. And it is. It shocks me that a ride or die fan would be that disrespectful to somebody they claim to care about. What are you doing putting your logo on Ryan's content? What is wrong with you? That's not what a fan does. Knock that shit off. Everybody knows it's your channel. You don't need to plaster your logo all over the actual face of his content. That shit's so wrong, dude. Dumbass. It is wrong. And I don't care if you think Ryan's okay with it. It's still wrong. It's just, that's like taking someone's painting and writing your name on it like you painted it. You don't do that shit.
That's because I'm used to having to clean up after anybody that comes over here. And my neighbors cleaned up everything. There's not one fucking beer can. Fucking love you guys. Thank you. Real shit, I'm actually stunned about there being no beer cans or nothing down there. No trash. And as I'm doing my morning chores, I'm like, my new little friend group I got going on now is making me realize how much the last friend group I had was just pieces of shit and not really my friend. Like at all. And you know what? It makes me really fucking happy. Cause I'm like, holy fuck, there's people that are not blind to people's bullshit. It's kind of fucking crazy that you forget that. And it's like, oh man, they're like, oh, you still got your dirty soft truck? Yeah, man. It don't fucking start. It don't start. The battery's all fucked up. You gotta unhook it. The transmission's all fucked up.
And whose fault is that? Honestly. I mean, quit paying some stupid dumbass to do shit. Take the vehicle to a quality, upscale repair shop and pay them to fix it. Instead of expecting one of your buddies to do it when it's over their head.
And then I moved to the next thing. Oh man, cool Jeep. Well, it don't fucking run. It's been sitting in the same spot for fucking a year.
That's someone else's fault. You see this? I can tell you right now, I nailed it. Right on the head. He's going to blame everyone else when he's just been checked out. What would stop him from going on Google, checking out some repair shops in the area, reading some reviews, find one that's got 5-star reviews and has been around for a long, long time, and their reputation is on the line. And you call them and tell them to come and get it and fix it for you. Problem solved. Could afford to take that vehicle anywhere on earth and get it fixed. This is what I mean about him whining to these low IQ simpletons that worship the ground he walks on. And they're not ever smart enough to look at the big picture. Why would he need to have, why is it one of Ryan's friends' fault that his vehicles don't run? It's not. And if he let that Jeep set for a year, that's on him. It's on him. No one but him. Because there's nothing stopping him from calling a reputable repair facility to come and get it and fix it. Not one thing stopping him from doing that.
Oh man, you still got your Hollow Boys truck? Yeah, let's go to the fucking gas station. Puts fucking nozzle in, squeezes it. Gas is pouring out. And they're like, whoa, what the fuck? It ain't fucking hooked up.
Oh, well, that's a crisis. That's a 1-hour repair for any reputable repair shop. 1 hour, fixed. Any reputable repair shop, 1 hour, fixed.
At all. Oh man, where's your 4-wheeler? You still got your yellow YFZ? Well, I do, but you wouldn't fucking recognize it because it's in fucking 7 fucking 5-gallon porter paint buckets.
Okay. And why is that? Well, because Ryan Upchurch. That's why it's that. Why wouldn't you take it to the shop? Why wouldn't you take it to the motorcycle dealer and have them fix it? Don't act like you can't afford that. That's nonsense. And don't act like you don't have the time. You're not writing a song and recording it every waking moment. That nonsense has worn thin too. You're not in the studio every single day writing a song and singing so engrossed in that you can't possibly call the motorcycle shop and have them come and get your bike and fix it.
And it has been since before I had a fucking daughter. Shit, man, we'll just grab your tools. We'll help you fix it. Someone stole all my fucking tools.
if somebody stole my tools, I'd put everybody in a circle and I'd say, you have 10 seconds to tell me who did it, or I'm going to call the police and have them investigate all of you. End of story. Problem solved. Never happen again. So why would his tools be stolen and nothing's done about it? Well, because of Ryan Upchurch. Ryan Upchurch checked out. Ryan Upchurch isn't doing anything for himself or anyone else. Totally checked out. He's watching people talk about aliens in code word for trafficking on the internet. But he don't have time to call somebody to fix one of these vehicles or get his motorcycle fixed. You just don't have the time for that. But he's got time to find code word between the lines that isn't there.
Man, your house looks good yellow. I appreciate it, but only half the house looks good yellow because the motherfucker didn't finish.
Now, let me tell you why. You want to know why he didn't finish? Because he already paid him like a dipshit. He already gave the guy money like a moron. You see, if you called a reputable house painting company, they would paint the entire thing, everything. They would paint everything, Ryan, all of it. Because you brag about how much money you got all the time. What'd you say the last time you were running your pie hole on Adam? You said you had $100 million, which I don't believe that, but you said that. And people can just run around. You've got so much money that your mom can buy 5 houses and pay cash for them, and you don't even miss the money. But you can't call a reputable company to come and paint your house. What? You small-minded, loyal fans out there that just can't ever believe he would lie to you. He's lying to you through this entire video. There is no reason why he would have to pay some Joe dirtbag dude that wants 3/4 of the money before he's done to paint his house. He could just call a very reputable company that has a very good reputation in the area. And the last thing in the world they'd want to do is tick off a celebrity, right? They probably paint celebrity homes all over the area, right? Because there's a lot of celebrities in Nashville. And you could hire a very professional company to come and paint your house, and they would paint the entire thing and say, come and take a look at it and make sure it's done to your liking, Mr. Upchurch, before we give you the bill. And they would walk you around, address any concerns you have, and then present you with a bill. And then you'd pay them and it'd all be done. And your involvement in that would be about 1/8 the time it takes to find code word between the lines in YouTube videos about aliens.
Who was it? Fucking, I don't even know his name, but he was referred to by, a fucking so-called friend. And let me show you how fucking half done it is. I actually mean it's half fucking done. Like, look at this shit.
Why did you pay the guy? Why did you have to have a friend find you somebody? Why couldn't you just call somebody who paints houses in the area? Like, find out, if they painted Alan Jackson's house and they painted Garth Brooks's house and they painted Faith Hill's house and they painted Kid Rock's house, they'd probably paint your house and do a fine job. Know what I mean, Mr. 100 Million?
Look at this shit. When you charge me infinity dollars to not fucking finish, and that's supposed to be color matching. That's supposed to be color matching down there at HP Barn. Nothing is fucking done. Nothing.
You see there? He already paid the guy. And the guy's never coming back because it was some crackhead looking for drug money. And I got the sense that Ryan is very much like my middle brother. My middle brother is the kind of guy that will let people just shit all over him. And he'll never say anything to their face. When he sees them, it's like, oh man, how you doing? All right. But when they're not there, he's going, oh man, he screwed me. He didn't pay me enough. Or, oh, he owes me money. Or, oh, he done me this way and he done me that way. And then they come back around, hey, how you doing, man? Treat him like the best friend. He doesn't have the courage to stand in front of somebody and shred them. Never did. And I had a brother-in-law that took advantage of him. Like, took advantage of him multiple times, over and over and over and over and over again, because he was too big of a coward to ever complain to the guy to his face. And he just couldn't say no. And I'm telling you, that's exactly the way Upchurch is. He doesn't have the courage to grab one of these people and look them in the face while they're standing there and go, absolutely not. I'm not giving you a damn dime until it's done. When you get my house done painted, I'll pay you. Better get busy. And you draw the line in the sand right there. You don't pay the guy and then cry because he never came back. And I can tell you right now, he's not coming back. He's not going to finish it.
And this is not the builder's fault, but once again, the people that, you know, I give jobs and give stuff to do, well, they don't tell them to finish it. So it's got half old porch, half new porch. What the fuck? Am I mad about this stuff?
Paid him already. That'd be completely done if you hadn't gave him any money. And see, if you would have hired a reputable company, they don't need your money to go get the materials. See, that's the problem. You hire these fucking fly-by-night backyard crackheads, and they don't have any money. So they can't go buy the paint and paint your house, then give you a bill. They have to have you buy the paint and put gas in their vehicle to get there.
No. It's fucking hilarious. Because whilst you see these motherfuckers online, you're like, oh man, fucking, Upchurch, man, he did all this shit, man. He hurt my fucking pussy, man. What the fuck? This is why when I ask what the fuck do you do over here, and you say everything, that probably means nothing. Because you can't tell me one thing, so you just say everything. Well, it's funny because it seems like everything around here is half fucking done.
Because you're half there. Because you're checked out. You're not paying attention. And what little bit you do pay attention to, you don't have the courage to dress somebody down to their face. It's like, I guarantee you, every one of these dudes probably came, hey, man, Ryan, man, I got about half the work done. Man, can you spot me out, a couple thou, man? Well, I'll be back on second Tuesday of next week. Finish it for you. And Ron's like, oh yeah, sure, man. Then the minute they leave, oh man, I can't believe he asked me for money. That son of a bitch. Yep. I know the personality.
Motherfuckers wonder why I never have time. Because
never have time. It's all you got. That's all you got is time.
there's no time. There's only 24 hours in a day.
He wants you guys to believe that he's up at the butt crack of dawn and he's just hammering all day long. What's that? What's he doing, you suppose? That he don't have time to walk out there and go, hey, dude, what's up with the porch? Why is it not done? What's going on?
I mean, fuck. And don't get it twisted. Don't be like, oh, you know, it's like this is how you're spending your first Father's Day. Are you kidding me? I'm walking around knowing that I'm one hell of a fucking father. And I'm proud as fuck on my first Father's Day. Because look at everything I'm able to fucking put up with. Bunch of crybaby, titty baby motherfuckers who just are weak.
He's the most unhappy, most miserable, self-made millionaire I've ever seen. Most other people would just be enjoying living large and living out their dreams. And it's sad that he lets a substance and create all this stress and drama for him.
Weak as fuck and got tiny balls. Like, simple as that. I asked for these motherfuckers to help me clean the basement out. Keep in mind, they still ain't finished fucking framing it up. It's been half, I'm not shitting you, half framed up for fucking like 3 or 4 years.
Because he doesn't have time to call a reputable drywall company and ask them to come and give him an estimate. And then maybe have 2 or 3 of them give him an estimate, read their reviews, and have them do it. That way, you know you're not paying too much, right? And you're working with a company that's got their reputation on the line, that they've worked too hard to build to piss off some entertainer or some celebrity and risk getting badmouth. But, you know, you don't, how's come you don't see Kid Rock? Why do you think you don't see Kid Rock on the camera crying because the people he's got remodeling his house aren't finishing it? Well, it's because Kid Rock never hired a single friend to do anything. He hires reputable people that are professionals in that industry, because there will nobody. Well, and I'm going to give you a little wisdom, people. Nobody will skin you quicker than a relative or a friend. Those two right there will skin you quicker than a total stranger. Especially if you're mealy mouse, wishy-washy, mashed potato, you know, can't look somebody in the face and chew their ass out and mean it. Because you don't, you know, when you're a manager, when you're managing your own career, because, you know, oh my, the industry's bad. Signing a record deal is horrible. It's way better if you do it all yourself. Well, doing it all yourself means you have to manage your life. You have to manage your money. You have to manage your career. You have to manage your image. You have to manage your friends, and you have to manage the work you need done. It's you have to do that. Or you hire a manager and you demand nothing but results, and you pay them enough that they wouldn't dare want to lose the job. The first time you willy around and you only pay somebody a couple of $100, you've already sealed the deal on the quality of work you're going to get from them and the amount of energy and effort you're going to get. But if you hire a manager and you pay him damn well, and his family is depending on that money, and it's more money than he ever made in his life, and he wouldn't dare want to not lose that money, you got it made. But when you hire some dude and throw him a couple $100 once in a while, that's the kind of work you're going to get. That's the kind of dedication you're going to get. He's going to work for you once in a while, and he's going to give you a couple $100 worth. So you're mismanaging yourself there, Ryan. You're mismanaging yourself. You've mismanaged your friends. You've mismanaged your crew. You've mismanaged everything. and you told your fans, these are your words. You told us that people were able to take 5 and 6 and 700 grand out of your money and go buy houses with it without you knowing about it. That's you being totally checked out. If it's true. Because $10 was missing in my account, I'd know about it. I would know about it. And if I was too busy to know about it, I'd pay somebody to know about it. And the first time they didn't know about it and they should have known about it, they'd be fired. Supposedly Beetlejuice is your manager, and all this shit went down. Well, he's your manager? Well, how much were you paying him? That's probably the real story, right?
I'll show you. This basement was fucking destroyed from tailbones, scabby face ass. My fucking mother came down here and cleaned this entire thing and has this left to take off in one fucking day. My mother, by her fucking self. Oh yeah, by the way, here's the half framed up fucking shithole job. The fact that I was told it was gonna be like damn near impossible to put a fucking...
That's it again. That was him listening to his friends that don't do drywall. Listening to his friends that didn't want to do hard work. Listening to his friends that don't do that. Because had he called a reputable drywall company that had a reputation to protect, they would have came in and said, oh, absolutely, I can do that, and that. Here's how much. And it would have been done in 4 or 5 days. They would have came in, knocked it out, and left. But it's, once again, it's him mismanaging the situation, relying on backyard do-it-yourselfer types to do shit that's over their head.
Ceiling here because of the pipes and everything else.
No
And people
pun
having to
intended.
get to them. Come on, come the fuck on.
Every house I've lived in with a basement had a finished basement with a finished ceiling. I mean, that is a very normal thing to, if the plumbing is really, really like hard, going to be hard to move, you can put a drop ceiling in. Okay. And a drop ceiling is when you look up and you see the individual panels running through little steel girders that hold it. That's called a drop ceiling. That steel hangs by a wire, and then you set the panels in there, and you can drop it down, and don't have to disturb the plumbing or vents. Or you move it. With today's plumbing, the PEX, I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but there's a product today called PEX with connectors called SharkBite. It requires zero knowledge, zero talent, zero know-how. You can't screw it up. If you try to screw it up, you probably couldn't screw it up. The PEX is very, very flexible. You can cut it with a cutter that looks like a pair of pliers. And then the fittings, like a 45-degree angle or a reducer or a spigot head or a connector to a sink, they're called SharkBite because you literally just shove them on the PEX pipe and it stays. You don't have to tighten it. You don't have to solder it. You don't have to glue it. You don't do anything, just shove it on there. I've seen my buddy, I've got a very good friend that owns a heating and cooling company. He's been in business for 40 years in the same community. He's the guy that gets called for real high-end builds in the area. And I've seen them do the PEX, and I've seen him plumb an entire 4,000 square foot house in like 4 hours. using that PEX. That shit is just, it's amazing. It just literally takes the work out of it. And you got red for hot, blue for cold, green for gas. It's killer, man. And very simple so you just rip all the plumbing out and you run that PEX up higher and put your drywall in. If you hired a reputable company, that's what they would have done. That's what they would have gave you a price on, and it would have been done already. Why would you even bother? Well, we'll go back. Checked out. He's checked out. Mr. Hardcore Country Guy that could catch a bear and wrestle a snake and shoot a bow and arrow 30 miles because he's pure country. Can't get a drywall job completed in 4 years.
You can lower the ceiling, and wherever the fuck there needs to be like maintenance, get 2 fucking hinges and a thing where it locks. We've been to the fucking moon, apparently. This is simple. Downstairs bathroom, I've needed a piece of fucking drywall that weighs 3 fucking pounds, and I've needed...
Hey, Ryan. They have these devices called cell phones. And how it works is it's this like little computer that you hold in your hand. And it has like Google on it and everything. And you can call people. And the wonderful thing about it is you can Google drywall and then look at one that has a 5-star review, has been in the area for years, and you can actually just take your finger and touch it on call, and it will automatically dial them. You know that?
This drywalled and this drywalled. Do you know how for long? For about fucking 4 or 5 years. I can already hear it now. The purple...
Crack Squad. Even you don't believe that, do you? That a millionaire cannot get 2 pieces of drywall completed in 4 years. Because if you believe that, then you probably should have 24-hour supervision.
Feet people. The motherfuckers that had blood circulation in their fucking ankles for 5 years because they get online, eat Hostess cakes, and say fuck Upchurch all day. I know what you're going to say. Well, why don't you fucking do it?
Well, at least they're not reading stuff between the lines that ain't there and pretending that when someone says something about outer space, they're actually talking about traffic and underage people.
Yourself. I have to have the job to pay people to...
Now, here comes the part where he tells you simpletons that his every waking moment from the time he wakes up in the morning, every day, he's working his fingers to the bones, making music.
Do that job. I'm not doing both of them. I don't have the fucking time. Do you understand?
But he can sure watch YouTube videos and decipher code words and stuff. He can do that. He can talk about Adam Calhoun breathlessly for hours. But he can't make a telephone call to a drywall company and have them come slap some drywall up for him. Why would you even piddle around? This is the part I don't understand. Because if I had a couple of $1 million laying around, I would literally just call somebody to do it.
You understand? You probably fucking don't, you fucking retard. And once again, do not get it twisted. Don't be like, oh, look how mad he is. Are you fucking kidding me? It feels good saying this shit. You fucking lost your mind.
because he can't say it to their face. So he's got to say it in a YouTube video so he can like covertly smear all his friends to his fans and then pretend like he never did that. He can't look at Deerdorf in the face and go, hey, dude, why is this drywall not done? But he can get on YouTube and talk shit. I think talking to someone's face is a lot quicker and a lot easier, would take a lot less time than making a YouTube video. And, you know, like complaining to them covertly.
Because it's so.
You know, in much the same way, the gotcha man does the covert flexing in all his videos. Okay, it's like, you can see my truck, but I don't want you to know I know you can see it. Or you can see my rims, but I don't want you to know I know you can see them. Or, hey, you can see my pool, but I don't want you to know I know you can see it. It's like, it's this little game he plays rather than say, hey, check it out. I got, you know, look what I bought. Right. It's as immature as what we're hearing now. And it's just funny that they've got that in common. You know, it's got to all be this covert stuff instead of just being direct about it.
So fucking obvious when you see what I'm saying, and you go look what the other side's doing, twerking and flexing and fucking smiling all gay in the fucking camera and acting like they're 16 fucking years old. It really shows you there's no fucking comparison. Are you fucking kidding?
See, and this is the other thing that's kind of ironic, okay, is he's constantly telling his what fans he has left, the 20,000 people that'll take the time to watch his videos anymore, when there used to be hundreds of thousands, is people that do YouTube videos are dumb and retarded and acting stupid, being silly. It's only when he does a YouTube video that it's not that. When someone else does a YouTube video, it's immature, it's stupid, it's wasting time. When he makes a video, that's none of that. Just saying.
Me, when it comes to being a man, there is no comparison. All these dudes crying and acting like bitches, these dudes are not men. Are you fucking kidding me? That's why.
Isn't that funny? The hypocrisy, it's like, I'm sorry I got to keep stopping it, but it's like, we can't get the whole paragraph without hypocrisy or just nonsense, right? Who's been crying in videos the most in this video sphere we're in? Because this son of a gun's been doing a lot of crying, a lot of blaming, a lot of finger pointing. Like everyone else is in charge of his happiness. Everyone else is in charge of getting his stuff done. He's not in charge of any of it. He's just the victim. He's not in charge of getting his drywall done in 4 years. That's somebody else's responsibility. He's not in charge of getting his vehicles repaired. But somebody else is supposed to do that. And, you know, I'll just pay my friends to hang out with me and give them expensive gifts so they have no choice but to remain loyal, because I'll take it back if they don't.
Other fucking old ladies complain all the fucking time. I mean, really, put yourself in their old lady's position. I'd be fucking embarrassed too if I knew that was who I had to lay beside every night. Some dude who bitched and cried and was...
You mean kind of the way you do about Adam Calhoun and Jelly Roll? I mean, why don't you just admit, Ryan, that Jelly Roll's success is insanely awesome? His rise to absolute world superstardom is unmatched. And it's good. Every bit of it is good. He's a poor kid from the inner city that wound up in prison as a teenager was in prison before he was 18 years old, came of age, locked up. And you want to sit there on your high horse and poo-poo on his success because it had nothing to do with you. You can't go anywhere in the world and not hear a Jelly Roll song. On the radio, not on the internet, not in a YouTube video, on the damn radio or the television. And his rise to stardom is unmatched. And it went to heights you will never see because you don't have the ability to manage a career that big. You can barely handle what you got, and it's dwindled down to nothing. And you've had so much drama because you haven't been able to manage it well. And you haven't managed it well. And you've hired stupid people and your friends to do shit they got no business doing. Your friends shouldn't be building your tour sets. Your friends shouldn't be doing any of that. It should be done with professionals. Your friends should be your friends, not your slaves, not your employees. You can't have a friend work for you. You cannot do it. That's why no one does it. You can't do it. You can't have a relative working for you. It never works out. Never does.
Obviously proven wrong in like fucking, 7 fucking stories on Upchurch's Instagram? Get the fuck out of here. Hell, the crazy part is they're still trying to run with it. What's wrong with him? What's wrong? Is he crazy? Oh man, he must be crazy. You must.
Well, you just showed us a video where you can't manage to get 2 pieces of drywall done in 4 years. You can't manage to get a car repaired. You can't manage to get a basement finished out. You can't manage to go on tour. And you're being sued. And you're making videos mad about something every other day. Just absolutely dripping with Jelly Roll envy. Yeah, we think there's something wrong, and we're right. We're 100% right. And the sooner you come to grips with the fact that you're taking too much Adderall, dude, if that's what it is, I would assume so. You're taking too much. And you let it get out of hand, and you need professional help, not your friends, not someone you know, not someone covert, not someone backyard. You need professional help from professionals.
Be a fucking idiot is what you must be. Like I said, there's no comparison. And what you're saying is fucking stupid as shit. I mean, any fucking female that can watch what's going on with this situation obviously sees the more reliable one, the more, the one that's got their fucking head on straight.
Oh, you mean the guy that's got a beef with every single person that has ever graced his presence? Has a problem with everybody. Yet, they don't have problems with anybody. They're not on the internet flipping out. This guy done me, that guy done me. This is code word for that, and that's code word for this. And people commit crimes and record it in a video and put it on YouTube. So Ryan Upchurch can find it. Because, why? I don't know. I mean, a girl deletes a high school girl that the whole world's looking for, and she has to scuba dive down to do something to the evidence before the cops find out. So she records herself in a video doing it, puts it on YouTube. Why would, I mean, I don't know. These things happen. If you take too much substance, these things happen. Like people that don't take substance, these things don't happen. See, a sober person could get a simple drywall job done in mere weeks. A sober person could have every car serviced with a couple of phone calls. A sober person could put a tour together. A sober person could build a friendship with a band and grow tight together. A sober person would have employees that do their job.
Is where they're supposed to be all the time for their wife and for their fucking baby. You fucking goofy asses. I deal with all this shit from you fucking idiots. And then when I say you fucking idiots, I mean the ones who have worked here and are now crying for some fucking reason.
I don't hear them crying. I hear you crying. I hear you crying, smearing them, insulting them. Instead of having a talk with them in private, you make a YouTube video because you don't have the courage to talk to them. A sober person would pull their friend and employee aside and say, hey, dude, what's up? Why is this not getting done? And they could talk about it. But a person that's on drugs, abusing a substance, no, it would turn into some big blow up and cops would get called. So you just do it in a YouTube video when they're gone. And you set and you smear somebody and slander somebody and insult somebody, a lifelong friend of 20 years, and you talk about the guy like he's the worst person on the planet all of a sudden. And then you act like if he responds to that, he's doing something wrong. If he responds to that, he's crying on the internet. You were the one that went crying on the internet. He never said a word. He didn't work for you for an entire month and nobody knew. You know why nobody knew? Because he didn't tell anybody. He didn't go on the internet whining. You did that. Just saying.
Motherfucker, I ain't never had an STD. I ain't never been in a bunch of trouble. I fucking pay my motherfucking taxes. I do my business and I go to work and I'm where I'm supposed to be, motherfucker.
You don't go to work, Ryan Upchurch. You don't have a job. You get people together long enough to make a few new songs every once in a while. That's it. You don't have a job. Stop that shit. I get so tired of him talking about he got where he was at through hard work. That's not true. And any of you that think that, you're wrong. He got where he's at because he was given a God-given amazing talent. Given a God-given amazing talent that only 1% of humans gets. It isn't hard work. It's luck. It's a blessing. It's a gift. But it ain't hard work. Not at all. Now, you look at a guy like Oliver Anthony in his mid-30s, worked his ass off in a blue-collar, dead-end job for many, many years before he got money from his talent. Ryan Upchurch, it came early. He was barely, 21 years old when he broke? And he was already getting money from Redneck Nation from his Vine stuff. So I don't want to hear the hard work nonsense no more. It's a load of horse shit.
Whatever my wife wants, she fucking gets. Whatever she wants for my kid gets. And I don't mean like toys and shit. I mean like actual shit she needs, like, you know, diapers and baby food and all that good shit. We ain't spoiling our fucking kids. Hell fucking no. Hell fucking no. Her first vehicle gonna be a fucking Ford Ranger. You talking about my old lady ain't gotta worry where the fuck I'm at. She ain't gotta worry who the fuck I'm talking to.
Because you don't go nowhere. If you went somewhere, she might worry where you were at, but you don't go nowhere. You stay locked behind the gate because you can't handle being in society. And I'm a little tired of you acting like you have to have, you know, this entourage. Dude, you're famous on YouTube, right? You got 3 million fans, okay? Out of those 3 million fans, maybe 1 million of them would actually recognize you out in public if you're wearing a ball cap or something. If you're wearing a ball cap and some sunglasses, you probably wouldn't even get noticed. But you're only talking about 1/300th of the population. You'd go some places where nobody would know who you are. So stop it. You lock yourself behind a gate because you've been abusing a substance and you're socially awkward now.
She ain't got to worry about if I'm ever going to fucking provide for her. And she also ain't got to worry about me being stuck up her ass. I got hobbies. But guess what?
He just 2 minutes ago told you he didn't even have time to call somebody to do drywall. He didn't have enough time in the day to call a repair shop and have them fix a car. He don't have enough time in the day to call a reputable house painting company like his dad, for instance, to paint his house. His dad's crew would have came in there, done a bang up job and left, and it would have been done. I know it in my soul.
My hobbies are not fucking drinking and doing all that fucking dumb shit. No, my hobby is not making myself dumber all the time. No, it's not.
But you just did a video saying that when people talk about outer space, UFOs and aliens, it's code word for traffickers. And they put it on YouTube because they want a bunch of people to see it and figure out what they're doing.
And look, it's okay to drink and stuff every now and then, but there's men and then there's fucking boys, period. See, but here's the thing. You know why this is happening right now in society?
Here we go.
Because a lot of these motherfuckers are banking on what they say about themselves on the internet. Only a very few of us can just sit back and bank on our fucking actions.
Well, now, wait a minute. I can recall a guy named Adam Calhoun who, out of all of his videos on YouTube, the only time your name was ever mentioned in a video was him giving you credit where credit was due and giving you praise where praise was due. Other than that, he didn't mention your name. We can't say the same for you.
Yeah, suck my fucking ass. And the last thing I'm going to say before I get off here and go have breakfast with the girls, if you took HB off your truck because of what these fucking pussy motherfuckers say, you're a bitch. Don't ever put it back on your truck. I don't want you to, you bitch.
Did nobody take HB off their truck because of what someone else said responding to your slander? Like when you slandered Adam Calhoun out of the blue, nobody took HB off their truck because of that. They took HB off their truck when you started tormenting and laughing at a grieving family that lost a child in a tragic accident, and then started accusing them of first not having a child and then transitioning into accusing them of deleting their own child for a bunch of chump change. from GoFundMe. That's when people peeled the Holler Boy stickers off their truck. This other stuff you've been doing was sort of expected, because when people are abusing and addicted to a substance, this is the way that they act. We saw this coming. I mean, I saw this coming 3 years ago. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Saw it coming 3 years ago.
Bitch. I'd rather there be 30 of us real ones left than 30 fucking million fake ones. That's for damn sure.
Well, if that was the case, then your wife would have to worry about you providing for her. She would have to worry about that. And if you ever had to go get a job, she'd be up a shit creek. You wouldn't even be able to get there on time.
All right. Have a good day. Love you guys. Bye. Fathers out there. Happy Father's Day, motherfucker.
Jesus. Yeah. What do you guys think of that nonsense? Blaming all that stuff. He was covertly blaming any vehicles he had that doesn't run right on his friends, blaming any drywall work not done on his friends, and blaming some guy chinsing out on painting the house on his friends instead of himself. Where the blame lies, right? The blame lies with him. He's the one that hired some fly-by-night dipshit, not his friends. He's the one that paid the guy before he was done, not his friends. Because you don't have the courage to look at the guy and say, absolutely not. I'm not giving you a damn dime till it's done. And I will go get the paint. You tell me how much you need. I'm going to go get it. I'm not giving you the money to go get the paint. I'm going to go get the paint. You're going to come and paint it. And then when you come in and say it's all done, come take a look. And I look at it and it's good, I'll pay you. That's how you do it. That's how it's done. If you did anything other than that, you mismanaged it. You just flat out mismanaged it. And yep. I begged him to stop doing that shit. He was going to get sued. Every one of them. I told every one of them, this is going to lead to a lawsuit. Somebody's going to get sued. You can't slander these people like this. Exactly right, man. And it ain't, I'm sorry, but anybody ought to have been able to see that coming. I mean, that's why you don't see celebrities of any kind bring drama to their channel. I've always been perplexed as to why Ryan would do any other thing on his, Ryan Upchurch official YouTube channel. Should be about his music, should be about his career, should be video clips of things that went down on tour, a day in the life on tour, a day in the life in the studio, a day in the life, kicking it on the ranch. Anything else he could have been doing on some other secondary channel. And if he knew how to manage a career, that's what he would have done. He doesn't know how to manage his career. He's managed it very poorly. And he wants to blame everybody else. And it's nobody's fault but his own. No one's fault but his own. And I'll look at a few comments here before we move on to this next subject that I want to talk. Appreciate you, Chris. Yeah, no kidding, man. Drugs are bad, kids. Don't abuse drugs. It's just not a good thing to do. You don't want to abuse drugs. Look at a few more comments here. Yep, there you go. There you go. There you go. That's sort of the catch-22, isn't it? For sure. There you go, man. I would have told him not to do that. Don't do anything on your Upchurch official YouTube video, but music related content. People would flock to day in the life stuff, like stuff that they're doing on the road, stuff they're doing in the tour bus, stuff they're doing backstage, stuff they're doing setting up, stuff they're doing tearing down, stuff they're doing ringing the system out, all these things, right? People would be very interested in watching that. All of it could have been monetized. He could be making $1 million a month off of YouTube alone. Because had the channel been dedicated to music and related stuff, it would have never been demonetized. He could have had a secondary channel that didn't need to be monetized for all this other shit. And, then when he decided to turn it into a weapon, okay, I'll get my fans to hate you because I'm mad at you. He's been on that kick now for 2.5 years, and that turns people's stomach. That is so mean-spirited. It is so bullish. You're mad at somebody for, being 10 minutes late to dinner, so you're going to slander them breathlessly to 3 million subscribers? That's just, it's an unfair fight. It's an unfair fight. Right from the rip. There you go, man. Plain and simple. It is not normal to read stuff between the lines that is not there. You can't use your imagination as facts. You can't do that. You can't have some wild imagination that when someone says they're going to space, they're actually taking stolen young people to Alaska. It's in your head. It's not there. You put it there. It wasn't there. You put it there. And now you're acting like it's a fact. You don't know. There you go, man. Wonder how many got destroyed. We probably don't know the eighth of it. We probably don't know the eighth of it. The thing that really gets me is that's pretty cool. I don't know if that hard lesson will ever be acknowledged, but yeah, all of this drama is self-created, and he's the only one that can blame. Blaming his friends is so cheesy. Turning to his YouTube fans to fight his fights is just so cowardice. God damn, that shit's cowardice. So immature. See, this is the thing that I think that is a problem with these extremely low IQ ride or die people that just can't see the wrong no matter what and believe everything he says. He constantly blaming other people, and they believe it. And when he turns to us, they're never going to understand that this isn't, one dude, trash mouthing another dude on Facebook comments, or one dude trash mouthing another dude in some YouTube comments. This is a guy with 3 million subscribers trash mouthing somebody that doesn't even have a YouTube channel. It's an unfair fight. And none of them will ever understand it until it's done to them. The same way Kurt never understood the weight of that until it was done to him. To have you go to a video you watch and you make a comment, and here's 800 people behind you hammering you because of something Upchurch said that isn't even associated with the topic at hand. And Kurt's experiencing that now. He gets to see what that's like. And that was done to so many people. You did it to people. Burkhart, yourself, you did it to people. You sat there with Upchurch and your stupid list, naming people by name. And their lives were very negatively affected. Ryan had a hell of a lot bigger following back then than he does now. And buddy, them fans would go after him like rabid dogs. And so that brings us to the closing topic here, which is the real rat. And I'm going to give you a prediction right now. And I've said this before. Since the first time I said this 2 years ago. But I'm going to remind you, and let's go ahead and write it down. Okay, because I'm going to wallow and I told you so. Because of the shit I've had to put up with bringing the truth. Be Loose has been the rat all along. Be Loose has embezzled millions of dollars from Ryan. And we're going to find out that he's likely bought in properties that Ryan doesn't know about, and even bought properties out of the country in his homeland. And he's going to flee the country when the shit hits the fan with a boatload of Ryan's money. Write that down. It's 11:42, June 18th, 2025. Write it down. PBR predicted this because you're going to find out that he's been the snake all along. And why do I say this? Well, there's a lot of reasons. One, he's got a dark aura that I saw right away. And secondly, if you were a manager and you were in it for the long haul and you viewed it as a lifelong career to manage one of YouTube's biggest independent sensations, and you landed that gig because you offered to make some videos for him and he liked the videos, and he was slowly rising the ladder of fame, and you're riding along with him, you would begin to master your craft. You would take that shit extremely seriously, right? You would be a very knowledgeable videographer. You would take lessons from other people. You would watch other successful video editors. You would pick up cues here and there. You would go take classes. You would attend seminars. You would do everything you could to master your craft, to become the best videographer you could be. You would have the best of equipment, with the best of lenses, with the best of knowledge to use it. And then when it comes to the management side of it, you would raise holy frickin' hell about anything at all that would cause one single fan to unsubscribe, would piss you off. If you found out one person unsubbed, you would be furious. You would make sure he toured at least 3 times a year to stay connected to the fans. You would make sure that everything was positivity. You would make sure that the people that were working there were doing exactly what the fuck they were supposed to be doing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Right? This is your career. This is your income. This is your lifelong achievement. But what did B-Loose do? B-Loose made a handful of good videos that got Ryan hooked, and then he fucking laid down. He just laid down. Started sleeping with Ryan's mom, not giving a shit what was going on. You just heard Ryan say it out of his own mouth. Drywall ain't been done for 4 years. If I was managing Ryan Upchurch and you were supposed to do his drywall and you hadn't done it yet, I'd have you by your ear, dragging you there. I'd literally come to your house and threaten to put knots on your head. I mean, this guy's done nothing. And then the entire time he's living with Ryan's mom as boyfriend and girlfriend, supposed to be Ryan's manager, and apparently millions of dollars comes up missing that nobody knows about. And when Ryan got on to that, he had to point the finger at somebody. And unfortunately, Ryan's loyalty laid with him for some stupid reason. And this again goes back to Ryan not being mature enough to manage his own career. He is not mature enough to manage his own career. He's not. He let B-Loose trick him into believing his mom betrayed him. And it was all untrue, by the way. Every bit of that was untrue, by the way. She didn't embezzle a dime. She didn't buy anything that he didn't know about, especially a house. And we're going to learn that B-Loose has robbed Ryan blind to the tune of a lot of money. If your client, if it was your career, your dream, your income, your lifelong achievement, and there your client is doing drugs, would you just sit there and party with them? Or would you drag his ass to rehab by his heels? The more he could keep Ryan checked out, the more he could embezzle shit and blame other people. And this goes back to, I just know this in my gut. Dear Door show up. Hey, man, we're going to do that drywall today. B-Loose like, hey, man, we ain't getting into all that shit today. Yeah, you guys, maybe I'll go down and work on set or something. Well, hey, dude, we need some, we need some like hardware. We need some drywall. You understand, he has no other source of income. But, Deerdorf has no other source of income. He's dedicated his time to Ryan. And unless they're willing to get materials, what's he supposed to do? Go buy them with his own money? So B-Loose has made sure all this shit was a clusterfuck. So he could isolate Ryan. So he could slowly start just getting rid of everybody that cared about the guy. One at a time. Closer somebody gets, the bigger risk it is of him getting caught. And if I was Upchurch, you say, how would you handle this situation? And what I would do, if I was faced with that situation, one, that would never happen to me because I would manage my career. I would take that shit serious. I wouldn't trust nobody with my money. I wouldn't trust nobody getting things done that I need done. I wouldn't trust nobody with taking care of my career. I'd do it myself and make sure it was done right. Period. But if it was me, and I find myself in that situation, I would remain quiet so Be Loose doesn't catch on, and I would set him up. I'd set that son of a bitch up and get and buddy, the minute he walked into his own trap, I wouldn't accuse him of something he didn't do. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying when I say set him up. I mean set him up to get caught doing what he's already doing, stealing from Ryan. And I'd go straight to the police and make sure he got locked up with no bail because he's a flight risk. And his ass would sit there till he told me where all my money was and all my properties are that he bought. Because I think we're going to find out that there's quite a few. Because it's just odd to me that that was what he decided to blame. You know, you have to understand, people that are guilty of doing things blame other people for doing exactly what they're doing. That's why liars always think others are lying, right? If you lie all the time, you think everybody else is lying too. If you don't ever lie, you're a little too trusting to people. I have that problem. I would tend to give people the benefit of the doubt until I have a reason not to. And a lot of people are that way. And so the fact that he, tried to accuse her of buying houses and insinuated that she was doing it for self-gain. You see, that was the insinuation, is that she was doing it for self-gain. And it's just all nonsense. It's the same thing with his ridiculous notion that Deerdorf would be plotting to hurt him somehow. This is shit B. Loose has put in Ryan's head. And because Deerdorf works for him, lives in his house, drives his vehicles, has what following Deerdorf has is from Ryan. He knows that. It's valuable to him. And he would have no motivation at all to do something negative to Ryan. There would be no reason why he would want to do that. But there's a reason why B. Loose would want to make Ryan believe that he is. And that's why there's a steady flow of Adderall for Ryan. I kind of got a gut feeling that's what it is. I know some of you think it's meth. I think it's Adderall. And but I think he's buying a ton of it on the black market, and he's doing way too much of it. It has become his routine to get up every day and take that shit and zoom along on it every day. And every 3 or 4 months, you got to increase the dose because to get that same energetic lift that it gives you the first couple times you take it, like any other drug. And I think we're going to learn that B. Loose has been behind all of it. And he's the snake, and Ryan's his own worst enemy. Let me tell you something, and I heard Jelly Roll say this on a podcast, and I tried for the life of me to find it when this shit first started with Ryan. When Jelly Roll talked about his decision to sign with a label. Because he flat out said that he did not trust himself enough to manage his singing career. He didn't trust himself. He didn't think he had it in him. He knew it would be hard. He knew it would require a shitload of dedication. He knew there were a bunch of snakes around. He knew all that shit. And he thought, I'm not going to risk that. It's too much work. It's too hard. I'll sign with a label. They'll pay me to make music for them. And I will negotiate a salary that makes me extremely wealthy. And that is exactly what he did. And I don't know what it is, just the small-mindedness that these freaking crack squad has, that somehow that's a bad thing. To fulfill a lifelong dream with a multi-million-dollar recording contract. They sat and act like that's some horrible thing. And there wouldn't a one of them, not a one of them, would walk away from a record deal. Not a one of them would. But yet they act like if somebody else does it, it's just bad. Because Upchurch said so. Not every record deal is bad. There's been bad ones because they were Ryan Upchurches. They were ignorant, right? Gullible, coward, spineless artists who were very talented, and they were yes boys in that regard, and they just told people what they wanted to hear, didn't have the courage to speak up for themselves, and so they got taken advantage of. But if you're hardcore and you're the talent, they can't make a dime without you. Your voice is the income in that deal. You hold all the cards. So you can negotiate a wonderful deal if you're not a spineless coward. And you make sure you don't lock into nothing that's ultra long term. That way, if you blow up and you become huge, your contract ends pretty soon and you can make a change if you want to. Or you could go independent at that time. And Jelly Roll negotiated himself a wonderful deal. When this contract's done with him, he gets to take the shit with him. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Because if being independent means your life's like Ryan Upchurch's, chaos, drama, thieves, people stealing from you, people stabbing you in the back, having to cancel gigs, having to cancel shows, getting your YouTube channel on montage. If that's what being independent means, who wants that? That's kind of dumb, really. Because if Ryan was professionally managed from day one, he would be way bigger than Jelly Roll. Way bigger than Jason Aldean. He would be a huge sensation if he would have been properly managed. But if it's gone, that opportunity, that window only swings open once. He walked through it. He did pretty good, but it slammed pretty quick behind him because he didn't do anything to prop it up. He didn't make any insurance policies for himself to keep that window open as long as possible. And it's gone now. So with that being said, I just don't want anybody to forget me telling you that. And because I am going to wallow in the I told you so in a big way, because it's well earned. I'll catch a few comments here and I got to get the hell off here on a weeknight. But man, I can't, I really appreciate all you guys tuning in. I really do. And man, if you don't mind, take the time to hit the like button. It really does help to get the video out there. I take the money I make from YouTube and I give it to the foster kids. And that lets them get things like they're getting a dirt bike here in 2 weeks. And it's kind of their own money. Like, I've gave them the YouTube money, and they've had like some of their distant relatives help out, but they're getting a dirt bike. The two boys will have to share it, and then, the one we adopted, he already has one. And so they can go riding with us. But, It really does help. And it's, it's going for a good thing. I'm not on here eBaying and wanting you to, do a paid subscription to my channel so I can buy rims for my truck. There ain't none of that. But every little bit does matter. Take a look at a few comments here. Well, I can tell you, man, that guy's got a dark aura that'll make the hair on the back of your neck stand up if you're the type of person that can sense auras. And I always have been that way. The last time, I want to share this with you, and I got to get off here. I had made a change. I left the company I was with for many, many years and accepted a job as a market manager over 15 franchise stores in the Columbus market. Okay. And this market was in the dumps. And when I tell you it was in the dumps, it wasn't, most of the stores were losing money. Granted, some of them were in the ghetto. Many of them had been mismanaged very poorly. So it was a long road to hoe. Okay. And the way that your salary is structured was such that my bonus would only come if the stores all were running above budget, meaning making money. They were contributing money, not taking money. So the way these large franchise chains work is, you own 200 locations and you hope that 150 of the locations can carry 50 that are losing money, right? Because not every one of them strikes gold. And so they set your salary up that way. And I worked very hard to put a team together of guys I'd worked with in the past as store managers, and guys that I had trained, guys that were once technicians for me at another location. I solicited them away from their jobs to come and work for me at this new company. And in a year's time, I had every one of those stores running at 160% of budget, and I was capping my bonus, making more money than I ever made in my life. And they sent a trainee over there, a manager trainee. And when he walked in the door, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. That I just sensed right away something about this fucker wasn't right. And we all talk bad about our bosses, right? Well, one of the things that was a pet peeve with me was I wanted every store to be spotless. I mean, freaking spotless. So, and believe me, if you've ever been to most auto repair shops, that's a rarity. But I was very stickler about it. A customer should be able to walk in there and use the restroom, and it's cleaner than the one they got at home. And the technician break room is super clean. So the techs have a relaxing break, that sort of thing. It really meant a lot. Keep your inventory tight. And I was the type of person that even my inventory was lined up by number on the shelves. Even my tires were the same way. And I stocked about 1,800 tires per store. So anyway, I sensed this guy was no good. I could feel it. And he recorded me bad-mouthing my boss. So he could get my market instead of a dump market that they were going to put him in till he earned his keep. And I never forgot that feeling I got when I first laid eyes on that fucker. Because it caused me a lot of grief, but in the end, he didn't win. But But yeah, he recorded me talking trash about my boss and then fucking played it to him. I got that same feeling when I took the my stepson down there to that concert at the Mud Park, and B Loose was standing on the side of the stage. We walked around there so he could get a signature, because Ryan was going to sign autographs and like talk a little bit to people after the show, and he was standing there waiting in line to do that. And I'm telling you, man, I saw that son of a bitch, and I got that same fucking feeling. That exact same feeling. That's all I got to say about that. And I'm telling you, that guy's a snake. And you're going to find out. We're going to find out if Ryan gets sober. His relationship with B Loose is going to dissolve, and you're going to find out B Loose embezzled a shit ton of money. So with that, I got to get off here. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. And peace out. We'll catch you on the next one.
Psychobabble.